moving west. Manifest destiny. It was their God-given right to extend the U.S. to the Pacific Ocean. Out of every group heading west, there were women. Like the men heading west, women pioneers had reasons for settlement. Many of the women just tagged along because their families were traveling west, but others were a bit more adventurous. They sought homesteads, husbands, and new opportunities, but life on the trails was hard.
We live very poorly. The bacon is awful, so mushy, and no vegetables. Nothing but bacon, bread, and this cup of coffee. Oh, how I miss the milk and butter,
said Lucy Rutledge Cook. Women married at about 14 or 15 on the trail. Once they married, they were expected to upkeep normal household duties along with traveling. They cooked, usually the same thing night after night, shown by Lucy Rutledge Cook. They also quilted. Any scrap of material was kept for quilts. As one can see, most comforts were left at home, for there was very little space in the wagon. Because of the crowded wagon, women also had to walk most of the travels. Life on the frontier was miserable compared to their days of beautiful silk dresses. The fashion was rather drab also. Along with petty complaints about no food choices, bad fashion, and other fits of uncomfort, the death toll was high. Disease ran rampant, and accidents were also common. In addition, people worried about Indian attacks. Though they were rare, the prospect of them added to the sense of danger. By the end of the journey, each woman had a story to tell. From buffalo stampedes to prairie fires, mostly everyone had a near-death experience. Life on the trail was harsh, but the work paid off. The journey west changed pioneer women. An expert in the field, Josh Robbins, explains how women affected the West.
Traveling west changed everyone involved, but the women set things going. The hardships and troubles they experienced on the trail gave them strength they didn't even know they had. Wherever they settled, churches, schools, libraries, literary societies, and charitable groups soon bloomed.
One legendary pioneer woman was Biddy Mason. She was an escaped slave that ran west seeking freedom. Her owner tried to take her from California, a free state, to Texas, a slave state. Mason sued for her freedom and won. She moved to Los Angeles, where she became a well-known pioneer and community leader. Another adventurous woman was Annie Bidwell. When she married John Bidwell, she moved to his ranch in present-day Chico, California. She taught local Indian women to sew and helped their children to read and write English. Bidwell also convinced her husband to give up drinking. He closed his tavern that was part of his home and encouraged the building of Chico's first church. She took part in other causes as well, such as the issue of women not being able to vote. Because of activists like Annie Bidwell, in 1869, women in the Wyoming Territory were granted the right to vote. Though the trails were tough, pioneer women left quite a legacy that paved the way for more equal treatment of women in the United States. This was perhaps the greatest achievement made by all of the groups moving west.